first question, we have to work out the volume of a sphere. Already we know the volume of a sphere is given by the formula 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Now looking at this sphere, you can see the radius started from the center, inside center, to the side of the sphere, 7 centimeter. So what we got to do is to substitute the radius 3, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So we start off with the volume, which is 4 over 3 times pi and times the radius, and the radius is 7, and then we do 7 cubed. Now what we do, we're going to type 4 divided by 3 times the pi from your calculator times 7 cubed. That's 7 times 7 times 7. Now when you do that, you get 1436.8 centimeter cube. Now you'll notice that I rounded my answers to 1 decimal place, and that's what remembering. Now in the second question, we have got to work out the volume of this sphere, but this time in terms of pi. That means that when you solve it, you don't really change the value of pi for 3.14. No, you leave it the way it is, and pi will have to be in the final answer. So let me show you how you may want to do this. So we know that the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 times the pi times the radius cubed, but this time the radius is 3. So we go 3 cubed. Now what we do is to write down 4 over 3 times pi times, now 3 cubed, can be written as 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, which is going to be 27. And if you use your calculator, not necessarily calculator, but you don't need a calculator here. I have to be very, very frank with you. We don't need a calculator. This is a non-calculator paper. So what you're going to do, you go 3 here into 27 how many times? I think it's going to go 9 times. So what you're going to do is to multiply 9 times 4. That's going to be 36. And then include the pi. And now please don't forget to put your unit, okay? So because this is volume, the unit is going to be 36 pi centimeter cube. The next question, we have a hemisphere. Now a hemisphere simply is a half of a full sphere. All right, so it makes perfect sense that if you have to find the volume of a hemisphere, you've got to get or calculate the area, not the volume of a sphere. So let's do this together. So the volume of sphere, that's the complete 3D sphere, okay, will be calculated by 4 over 3 times the pi times the radius, which is 5 cubed. And now, if you punch these values, 4 over 3 times pi times 5 cubed on your calculator, you're going to get 523 point. Now, we're going to write everything we have on the display on our calculator. So there's a 523.5987756. Of course, it's going to be centimeter cube, right? Now, the reason why we didn't round up here is because we only round up our final answer at the final bit of our question. Okay? All right. So now we'll continue to find the volume of hemisphere. So the volume of the hemisphere, which simply is a half of the full hemisphere. I mean, half of the sphere is this value here, 523.5987756, and then you have it. And if you have it, you're going to get 261.8 centimeter cube. Again, this is rounded to 1 decimal place, and this is going to be a better answer. Okay. All right. So we go to the next one. In this question, two spheres of radius 9 centimeter just fit into this tube. Calculate the volume inside the tube not filled with the space. Not filled with this sphere. Now that refers to this, this part here that is red, okay? So the first thing we got to do is to work out the volume of the carrier. In this instance, is the volume of the cylinder. So we know the volume of a cylinder is given by the formula, the area of the top circle or the bottom, which is circle pi r squared, times the vertical height. And in this instance, the pi remains what it is. Pi times the radius of the cylinder is 9 squared, times the height. Now remember, you might just like, but the height is not given. Yes, it's not given, okay? But again, if you look very carefully, because we know the radius of the sphere is 9. So if this from here to here is 9, then from here to is also 9, and here to here is 9, and then down here is another 9. So you can see you have 9, 9, 9, 9. So you can see this really turns out to be the height of the cylinder, which is 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, which is 9 times 4. That's going to be 36. So the height of the cylinder is 36. So if you work this out with your calculator, you're going to get, I'm going to leave my answer in terms of pi, okay? So this is going to be 2,916 pi, and that's in centimeter squared, centimeter cube. The next thing we've got to do is to work out the volume of the sphere. Now there are two spheres, but let's calculate the volume of one sphere, and then whatever I get, we kind of double it, okay? So we know the volume of one sphere. Of course, we know the formula, which is given up here. 4/3 times pi times the radius cube. Now the radius is 9, so we do 9 cube. And if you work this out, you're going to get 972 pi centimeter cube. So that means the other circle is also going to be the same thing. The second sphere, volume of a sphere, of second sphere. Okay, this is sphere 1, and this is going to sphere 2. All right, which is because both spheres are identical, so definitely it's going to be the same thing. 4/3 times pi times 9 cube, which is going to be 972 pi centimeter cube. So to wrap up everything here, we want to find the volume of the space inside the tube, not fill the sphere, So the volume of empty space, yeah, that's another way to put it, will be calculated by the volume of the cylinder subtract the sum of the two spheres. So we know the volume of the cylinder is 2,916 pi. Take away the sum of the volume of two spheres, which is 972 pi plus 972 pi. Now, if you work this out, you're gonna get 972 pi, and of course this is in terms of unit, centimeter cube, but in terms of pi. But we want to get a numerical value, okay, exact value. So we kind of multiply 972 pi times pi from the calculator. When you do that, you certainly will get an answer of 3,053.6 centimeter cube. And that's going to be our final answer.